Hello everybody, it's your boy N here. I'm coming at you guys with another YouTube video. So, Gley for breach tracking. It's fairly simple. Let's get right on into today's video. So starting off with Gley, we are going straight in with her build. Now with Gley, we're just going to start off with mid-air maneuvering because we're going to use this to grapple around and fly around with the relic, which is going to be our main weapon. Shocker, Gley with the relic. Who would have saw it coming? Now, you don't need explosive, sorry, not explosive, you don't need Predator Instinct very much, but you might as well slap it on. If it does a tiny bit of extra damage, it is kind of worth it, so we might as well go ahead with that. Now, with Gley as well, right off the bat, you're going to need cooldown and duration up, because we're going to be taking advantage of her third ability, and we are going to be looping this third ability all the way so that we are able to get our loop on the third ability to literally perfect. So for cooldown, we only need 2 mods. Well, 3 mods. So let's go with that first. So let's start off with MP conversion, and then we're going to go in with nimble fingers, and then we will add focus on non-attribute. You can use any focus on, but non-attribute or dimension makes logical sense, so we're going to go with them. Now, with the next mods, we're going to go with duration. So with duration for Gley, we're going to use all of her duration modules. So we're going to go with skill extension, maximize duration, and even battle of stamina. So 3 mods for duration over there that all work nicely. Next up, we will be using increased HP because Gley is a big boy tank. So increased HP and battle and stamina as a combination is going to be nice and easy. Now this is basically the fundamental build with Gley, and we already are at a 9.8 cooldown to a 9.8 duration, so we're already perfectly looped. So from this point onwards, you can kind of do whatever you want with the mods. Ideally, you do want a HP collector on Gley, just because if you do take damage, this will give you your damage, give your health back, sorry. Next up, you would want shot focus, in my opinion, just for the extra firearm attack, because it does make a little bit of a difference. And then with Gley for the final mod, we're going to jump over to the trigger mod first. And for the trigger mod, we're going to go with Kuiper hollow points. The main way this works is you want the base recoil to be high, because the trigger rate is based off the recoil. So the more recoil, the more it triggers, basically. So we're going to go with that. And then we're also going to slap on the mod dedicated for Kuiper hollow points called Weak Point Analyst. This is going to give additional weak point damage and health recovery when you do hit weak points with this. The relic does automatically hit lock onto weak points half the time. So the relic will hit mobs, it'll hit them. If it hits the weak points, that'll be nice. If not, then it is what it is. You can use other weapons to basically snipe weak points as well, so that's going to work out fairly nice with Gley. So that is the build right off the bat. Let's have a look at the other stuff in here. Now, the other stuff for Gley, let's start off with her Reactor. But before that, real quick, I'm just going to slap my 2 weapons in. So the 2 weapons I'm going to use is, number 1, going to, of course, be the Restored Relic. And then for a second weapon, you either want to go with the Last Dagger, if you want to use a dagger with Relic, a dagger with Gley, or you could go in and use a Thunder Cage with Gley as well, because a Thunder Cage with Gley definitely has a nice kick to it as well. So I will show you the setup for the dagger, even though I'm not going to use it in the gameplay. Let's go in with Shadow Cider. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you, homie. Thank you so much. Okay, back to the Gley setup. The Reactor for Gley, basically same story. You don't really need to use a dimension non-attribute reactor. It can be literally any reactor. It literally does not matter. With this, you just want cooldown and duration up as your substats on here, so that you basically have, the perfect loop. So that's all you're actually going to need for Gley. Next up, let's have a look at the external components. With the external components for Gley, there is 2 options. You can go with 2 pieces of Annihilation for duration, but if you've got yourself 2 pieces of Firebrand, this is going to give you a little bit more duration. So I would go with 2 pieces of Firebrand. That would work out a little bit better. 2 pieces of Firebrand, and then the other 2 pieces is going to be Shell Crusher. So Shell Crusher with Gley again is going to be very, very, very nice. So let's slap that on, and then we are also going to slap the final piece on of Shell Crusher. For Gley, ideally her stats are going to be slightly different because she doesn't use MP. So ideally on your power, you would want max HP and fire resistance. You'd want max chill resistance on here. Sorry, not max. Chill resistance and HP recovery modifier. You would also want defense and electric resistance on here. And then toxic resistance on here. And the second stat doesn't matter. Gley doesn't have shield anyways, so shield's not going to get you very far. For your actual external component cores, you're going to want max HP and defense across all of them. So that's going to basically go in and allow you to survive better and do and all of that. I was going to say do more damage, but it's not going to help you do any more damage. Next up, let's have a quick look at the arcade tuning tree for Gley. So for Gley, the arcade tuning tree is fairly simplistic. It's going to be a firearm based tree. So with this firearm based tree, what you are kind of expecting to do is just do the following. We're going to go all the way up here and across, down all the way to here, all the way to this enhanced firearm or enhanced multi-hit over here. Then you're going to go in with this golden multi-hit. We're going to go down and we're going to go all the way up here to the standard firearm attack, or the weapon attack, sorry. Then we're going to go across here and we're going to get crit rate, and we are going to get crit damage. The main reason we get crit rate and damage is because, of course, with the relic you're going to use other weapons too. So multi-hit for the relic, and then the crit rate and crit damage for every other weapon. Pretty simple with Gley. So that's going to be that. Next up, let's have a quick look at all of the other components on Gley, meaning the weapons and the builds for all of them and the inversions. Starting off with the relic, you need a fire relic. Is going to be the highest DPS. This is because the relic has fire built into it, so it is a fire type weapon. We're just going to stick with the element that's already in there. You're going to want 3 fire rate cores. You need triple 20 on the fire rate for the best fire rate experience with Gley. And then, of course, multi-hit chance and multi-hit damage on the substats. For the actual build, this is what you'd want. This is going to allow you to hit very hard and have a lot of fun with Gley. Next up, the last dagger. Now with the dagger, I haven't even bothered using the dagger with Gley as of recent because I've just been using the Thunder Cage. But this is what you would want with the dagger if you go with that. The actual element just needs to be matched over here. So we just change this over to chill enhancement and chill priority. And this is basically what you would run. If you have got good aim, you can even replace rifling reinforcement with overwhelm. That would work out quite nicely too. But yeah, that's going to be the dagger. I personally haven't been using the dagger, so I'm just going to tab it out for the Thunder Cage. With the Thunder Cage, this is the cores and substats you'd want to go with. You can change the faction damage, being the Urge of Truth one, to something else like crit rate, and that would also work out quite nicely. So fairly simple. Next up, for the actual Gley build with the Thunder Cage, you do not need Firing Fiesta. Let me just quickly change that. Real life fighter with this, and again overwhelm, or you could just go with something similar to this. You could replace overwhelm with a statistic mod like brisk walk to make Gley run a little bit faster, so you've got that going for you. Or you could use veil analyzer for the bubbles if you would like, but I've just been using overwhelm. Fairly nice with Gley anyways. Or if you want to use what was the last element mod, electric conductor, you'd be able to do that. Oh no, wait, electric circulation. Yeah, electric circulation, that would be another good option. I need to upgrade it and probably put a catalyst in for it. That'd help you out. So there you go. That is what you'd probably be running on your Thunder Cage. Next up, the inversions. For inversions, you're just going to want to go with the weak point amplification inversion, and then you'd want to go with the health inversions, I guess, because none of the other ones actually make a practical difference for Gley, so that is going to be that with her. Next up, let's quickly have a look at the Ancestor mod, because Ancestors are important. For Ancestor mod with Gley, ideally, you are going to want to get duration up as your most important stat. Your cooldown doesn't matter as much. You want to have good duration. If you get cooldown being lower and duration being up, your loop doesn't become any better. In fact, it kind of becomes a little bit cooked just because of the fact that you kind of just have to guess, or you're going to have to muscle memory slash keep a mental timer to basically max your loop. Ideally for Gley, you would want something with just a ton of duration, and I'll replace a focus on mod with that. Highest duration is as most important. Health would also be nice, but not necessary. So I'd say cooldown duration for her Ancestor is actually the best. Duration only if you can get that, I guess. A harmless negative would go a long way. And as you can see here, I've got a 0.71%, so 71% duration, so this is big. My duration jumps up by quite a landslide. So yeah, that's basically going to be the Ancestor mod with Gley. Simple. So once I do that, you can see my fire rate now is a 12-second cooldown but a 13.7-second loop. You can also alter the tree to make this go a little bit longer as well. If you take off some of this damage over there, you can get the duration over there, which will buff it up by quite a bit. So yeah, there's that. So that's the Ancestor mod segment for Gley at least sorted. So let's get on into some gameplay for Gley inside of breach tracking. So for this, let me show you the gameplay. Hopefully... Okay, what the fuck is wrong with my computer? Scary. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to... What is going on with this thing? This thing is being very strange right now. Okay, well, that was one way to do it. Let's start off with some Gley gameplay. Bro's BIOS is fried. My BIOS is not fried. Shut up. Stop being silly. Alright, Gley gameplay. So, here we go. With this, again, you just want to use the bike. You'd want to go straight in with your first ability. Be on the relic, use your third ability, and then it's honestly just run and jump around. I like to jump with Gley just because muscle memory. Because I play Bunny a lot, but ideally you just look around and start melting things. Scaling will obviously be different and lead to different results if you run this in public, so I do like to run this in solo and it still melts. You can see here, even these mobs are taking no more than 1 or 2 bullets from me, so that's a very, very good sign with Gley in general. I think the biggest thing is honestly learning the tile sets in here, because that will allow you to optimize your movement. You'll know where to bike next, where to aim next, and stuff like that. But this is kind of where I've gone with Gley, and honestly, as far as relicking it goes, this is some fairly good relicking. So relic is a good option, and you know, just Gley is a good option in here. Even if you were to use this in public, it wouldn't be that bad compared to just, you know, everything else. The relic is obviously a very strong gun, but you can see here, I'm just going to use the relic for literally everything, and I'll probably just use the thunder cage on the boss just for the vibes. Even with the thunder cage, again, it's not really necessary. You can just use the relic for literally everything. So, yeah, there you go. This is an example of using the thunder cage on one of the bosses, just because I wanted to feel cool for 1 second. Was it worth it? Not really. The relic's still better. Thunder Cage is a cool weapon though, so no hatred or anything towards that weapon. It's still cool. Again, here you can see myself throwing. If I was to optimize these runs and use the other bike as well, so I can actually move all the way through the corridors and stuff like that, probably save myself well over 40 seconds or 50 seconds or something. But just in general, you can see the way that I'm going about it is fairly obvious. Just stand around, take my sweet time, just run and jump with the relic. Kind of standard for Gley at this point. I'm also kind of interested in the Gley rework that's going to be coming next month, so we'll see what they do to her. I'm hoping Massacre makes a comeback and we get a crit Massacre or something like that. It'd be cool to see what they do with Gley. But just in general, you can see here, even whenever health seems to be somewhat of a problem, you just basically get it back instantly. Killing mobs is going to be very fast with the relic anyways, so you've not really got too much to worry about. And it's kind of just about getting a good... positioned stand and just spraying everything down with the relic. Like, Gley just in general is a very good option, and using her in all content is nothing but easy. It's smooth. It's honestly just convenient. That's why Gley is definitely one of my favorites. She's definitely a Descendant where you can just relax, you can turn your brain off and just shoot the gun, and the gun kills everything without being too, you know, lucrative or performative or anything like that. That's why she's definitely one of my favorites. Even with this, I didn't even realize that we had this as another option, so I completely missed it and wasted even more time. But Glaming, am I right? So yeah, you can see this is just fairly standard. Even with these phases as well, I think it's important that I highlight this, just because, you know, a lot of people won't realize this as well. You don't need to kill every single mob in the room. Even if you're focusing on specifics, all you need to actually kill are the elites and the actual objective. Another big thing is that, you know, focus on the target. So if you look on the left side of your screen, you will see that it will tell you specifically what you want to be killing / focusing on. So yeah, that's pretty solid. And just focus on killing the elites. With the relic, it'll just kind of go everywhere anyways. But if you at least hit the main mob with the relic, you'll have stuff set up for you. So it is a little bit better if you do it that way. So yeah, Gley with the relic over here, and we're almost done with the run at this point. So final phase, just waiting for the mobs to spawn in, annihilating the entire horde, so on and so forth, rinse and repeat. I really do like the lighting in this area as well, because it's like really moody lighting and stuff like that, so it does look great. Again, over here, I was like, wow, cool. I'm just going to annihilate it with the relic, and then I pulled out the Thunder Cage, and Thunder Cage Gamer with Gley, because I was like, yeah, we're cool today. And yeah, that was pretty much run done. In this run, we pulled it out, we got ourselves some keys, and we got ourselves a nice 4-minute 29-second with Gley. Like I said, you can save over a minute of time, so it's not too bad. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much everything that you need to know for this video, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you did, please just smash that like button, and if you are new here, please do consider subscribing. I make plenty of videos on First Descendant, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!